Hello, everyone. Marty Chinesky here with my buddy Ken Brown. We are your hosts of Local Sports Wrap-Up. Today is the 19th of September. Almost equinox? Is that the word I'm looking for? Solstice.
Solstice.
Fall solstice.
Yeah.
Almost. But anyway, we're your hosts, Local Sports Wrap-Up, and we got a lot to cover this week. There's sports going on everywhere downriver. Today, tomorrow, the next day, football. Let's start with the downriver football scores for the week, the Downriver League. And unfortunately, our Bears are 0-4.
Took one on the chin, huh?
Yep, we got Edsel Ford, Woodhaven. Well, we knew Woodhaven was going to come back and pound Edsel Ford. And Allen Park rebounded, and they took care of Lincoln Park. Southgate had the non-league game.
Against Divine Child.
Yep, they got beat. We knew that was going to happen, too.
Yeah.
There's Taylor beating Wyandotte 24-17.
It's a close game, yeah.
Is that where it ended?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought they only had 10.
No, they got in there.
And then 27-6, Gibraltar.
They beat Trenton. Yeah.
Which makes them, the standings there, we got
Carlson 4-0 in the division.
4-0.
You got Woodhaven 3-0 because they've played their non-conference game already. Allen Park's 3-1. Southgate's 2-1. Trenton's 2-1 in the conference. Lincoln Park's 1-3. The Bears are 0-3. And Edsel Ford's 0-4.
So that'll be the game, of the week when it comes up. It'll be our Bears and Edsel Ford looking for their first victory. Hopefully not. Coach, I know it's tough. I've coached too.
Yeah.
It's just I'm looking at that, and Lincoln Park beat Edsel Ford, so that'll be interesting. We have a few highlights, thanks to our buddy Frank. I got Melvindale 29, Robichard 20. In the Carlson game, 27-6 against Trenton, that game was scoreless for the first 18 minutes, and then they started moving the ball. And the Woodhaven game, 42-0. Well, they rebounded from that loss to Brother Rice as we knew they would. For the Warriors, Tom Davis and Manny Johnson each rushed for 2 touchdowns, while Andrew Phillips and Ben, there's a name for you, Claude Zedchek, each got in the end zone once. Woodhaven will be playing Allen Park Friday night.
So that'll be a good one. They had a tough game against Brother Rice, right? Lose 26-0. Come back this week, whoop on Dearborn Edsel Ford 42-0, and then they get Allen Park. So that's going to be a good one. Yeah. Allen Park actually beat Lincoln Park 35-6. Allen Park went on the road and rebounded from a tough loss in week 2 to Carlson. The Jags improved to 3-1, both overall in the Downriver League. Lincoln Park slipped it says 0-4 here. Allen Park will travel to first place Woodhaven, while the Rail Splitters are host to Trenton. We know that they made a mistake because they actually did beat Edsel Ford.
Yes.
So Lincoln Park is 1-3, like we said.
Riverview 36-15 over Flat Rock. Riverview, they got a battle for Flat Rock, but they remain unbeaten. The Pirates went into the Rams Stadium there. They led them by 6 points heading into the final quarter, but then Jacob Shank, he rushed for 100 yards and 2 touchdowns, one of which was from 50 yards out, and he caught a touchdown pass from quarterback Lucas Thompson.
He was the double threat, huh?
Apparently.
Yeah, but 50 yards on the one play, and he had 100, not only, but he still did well. 3 touchdowns. I'll take it all day.
That's right.
Yeah, New Boston, Huron 54. That's Monroe Jefferson 16.
You know, the Monroe Jefferson used to be a powerhouse, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you're right.
And now New Boston took care of them.
Yeah, the Hurons are mad about those days. Everybody was rebounding. Sounds like a basketball game, but everybody was rebounding. Riverview actually beat New Boston Huron last week. So they dominated Jefferson. The Chiefs are 2-2 in the Huron League. They're 2-2 overall, 2-1 in the Huron League. Gavin Matsowitz was 6 for 12, passing 100 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he also rushed for 82 yards.
There's a last name, good Polish last name there.
Yeah, that kid's good.
Macidowski, whatever.
Okay.
Carlton and Grosse-Ile. Carlton Airport 41, Grosse-Ile 34. Grosse-Ile just short in the battle. They're 2 undefeated Huron League teams. Red Devils trailed by 7 points at the half. Went into the fourth quarter ahead by 6. Here's one for you. Then the Jets for Carlton put up 20 points in the last 12 minutes. Yeah, kind of like the other Jets in the NFL.
Yeah, or the Arizona Cardinals in the NFL. Yeah, they both put up 20
points right at the end. That Cardinal game was crazy.
29, I think they ended with.
I don't think so.
No, I know they did.
No,
anyway,
they did?
29, 23.
I didn't even see that.
Yeah.
I'll have to check my sheets.
That's what I was telling you.
Because the Lions were sitting on 29 for a little while there.
Yeah, they looked good yesterday.
Yeah, they did. How about your boys in Rouge there?
I love when we talk about them. The crazy thing is that Rouge actually played a powerhouse that we've known. We talk about former powerhouse. And for a long time, Orchard Lake St. Mary's was one of those teams.
And do you believe they're not still? Or?
No, I still think that they're considered good, right? But I think River
their kids. Come on, it's Catholic League school, isn't it?
Yeah, but Rouge just handpicked them, 28 to nothing.
Yes,
Rouge went 2 weeks without playing the game due to a power outage in week 2 and a forfeit by Chandler Park. The Panthers 3-0 headed to St. Mary's in week 4 and didn't show any signs of rust as they rolled to a shutout victory over the Eaglets. For Rouge, sophomore quarterback Mikhail McDowell was 23 for 27.
23 for 27, and it says 353 yards passing.
Wow.
Doesn't Rouge have that MSU commit?
Yeah, I think he's the receiver. But this kid's a sophomore. He threw for 353, 90% passing accuracy anyway. Nick Marsh had 7 of those catches. I think that's the Michigan State-bound guy. 173 yards and 2 touchdowns.
They could have used him Saturday night there.
Especially if he did his Odell Beckham impression. It looks like he had a one-handed grab with 2 defenders hanging on him. Daniel Rucker also finished with 8 receptions, 118 yards and a touchdown. Cameron Broadneck's rushed for a score. In week 5, Rouge welcomes in Ohio powerhouse Cleveland St. Ignatius. Which, between them and Moeller when we were younger, Moeller out of Cincinnati, those were the powerhouse schools where all the linebackers from the Big Ten would come from.
Right, and go to Ohio State, most of them.
Unless you're Chris Spillman.
That's right.
No, he went to Ohio State, played for the Lions, though.
Correct.
Yeah, you're right. No,
they had that factory, that football factory down there. Yep. E-course, 36, Detroit University Prep. Science and Math, 6. That's the wrong name for a football team.
Yeah, you got to get ready for the math ball or something.
Right. You're going to go out there. E-course continued its strong start to the season with a dominant win at University Prep in a game that was played on Friday afternoon. Red Raiders are 4-0, and they'll be home Friday night to take on Detroit University Prep, which I know nothing about that team.
At least they don't have a math team playing with them.
Right. It's bad team. Bad name for a team, the math guys.
In the Battle of Gabriel Richard, Riverview bested Ann Arbor Gabriel Richard 31-20. Riverview, I'm trying to just see the record. The visiting Pioneers are 1-0 in the sectionals, and they were led just by 5 points. The Fighting Irish scored with about 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Riverview scored again about 2 minutes later and put the game away. So it was close for a long time, and then in the end of the fourth quarter, Gabriel Richard, Riverview put it away.
Yeah, it's I think the Pioneers. Gabriel Richard Pioneers are 1-0 in the Catholic High School League and 2-2 overall.
Yeah. So that Gabriel Richard, the Pioneers are the ones from Riverview.
I think you're correct.
Yeah.
And then we had Allen Parker Cabrini got blanked by Clarkston Everest Collegiate, 29-0. I have to double check my sheets for that 29 pool. I don't think any of the high school teams are in it, though. And the last one I got, Summit Academy lost to Warren Michigan Collegiate. This is an interesting matchup because Summit kicked off charter school conference play on the road against Collegiate. In the previous 2 seasons, though, both squads won a division championship. But now, with reseeding, the 2 programs are now in the same division. I don't know if that's lack of teams or what that is, but they've lost to them the 3 times they've played the Cougars, and that game was at Madison Heights Bishop Foley. Next up for Summit is a home game Friday night against division foe Detroit Leadership Academy.
Yeah. I think that's bad news for Summit because Summit, we talked about it last week, they were dominating out here, and then whatever conference that charter league school, that charter league football league, they were dominating, and now they're going to have to play Warren before time.
Right, yeah. And that might they won't get to, I don't know how they work their playoffs. Little talk, football games coming up this week, as we mentioned. Lincoln Park and Trenton. Southgate plays Taylor. I was going to say Trenton's going to beat Lincoln Park, not slap. They're going to win that one. Taylor and Southgate. That's interesting. Taylor just got their first win in a while. Yeah. Southgate should handle that.
Yeah. I'm going to go on Lincoln Park and Trenton.
Oh, it's on there twice.
I like Lincoln Park.
Do you?
Yes.
Woodhaven Allen Park's got to be game of the week.
Got to be.
Because Woodhaven's 3-0 in the conference. Allen Park's 3-1. Woodhaven hasn't played Carlson yet, and Allen Park has. Okay. Interesting little
twist.
Yeah. And the last 2 on that list, or the last one?
Wyandotte.
Oh, yeah.
They played Gibraltar Carlson.
Ooh.
And Carlson's rolling.
That's an understatement.
Yeah, Carlson's rolling.
I'd be curious to go. I'd be curious to see the game and the sidelines. How many bodies? I really haven't gotten a count on what Wyandotte's fielding every game. It could make a lot of it. They may tire out because it does seem like they hang for about 2 quarters and a half, maybe, and then it just starts to wear on them a little bit. So it'd be interesting. I don't want to dog out our football team. I've been through a couple of generations in that football, But the game that they played against Taylor. Defense was the name of the game for a while in that Wyandotte game. 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns for the Griffins proved to be the difference in what was a 24-17 win over the Bears, despite the Griffins being 0-3. And we were too. I mean, last week Taylor was strong against Trenton. They lost 24-7. And in week 2, fell to Allen Park 30-21. And their coach, Michael Pitts, he says, man, they've been right there, player 2 away. So what are you going to do?
I think you want to get the ball to Isaiah Holloman. Get it to him any way you can is what Taylor was thinking. He had 2 touchdowns, and then he also had 2 interceptions on defense.
Nice.
So I don't
figure he's a wideout, or you think he's a running back?
I think he's a running back because it says it says a pair of touchdowns. Doesn't say how. I'm thinking a running back just based on the offense. I bet you he's a running back. The Bears got a lot to learn, but I think they're young. From when I talked to the neighbor, he said that they was a young team and they knew it was a rebuilding year. So I just think they just got to start gelling a little more, and it'll come together. You get that, you learn how to win one, and then it'll get contagious, and the next thing you know, they run the rest of the games. They beat Woodhaven, and we all forget that they lost to Taylor.
I like the way you think. I'll say this: the youngness, if they are young, let's say a 10th grader against a senior, 2 years of developing, 2 years in the weight room, 2 years of eating right, working out, gaining some bulk. That's a world of a difference.
And confidence alone, right? Like as your confidence, you get more confident in what you're doing. I think that you'll have a better ability to do those things. They'll be fine. They're young. I bet you.
Yeah, and you don't, you play it one play at a time, and they'll go and they'll compete, and that's all the coach is looking for, people to compete on every play. I mean, that's what they say at MSU too, so that's what you have to say. But there right now it's tough. It's a new regime and it's tough.
Yeah, they'll learn. And Holloman is a running back. He had a 4-yard rushing touchdown. And I bet he's a safety. I don't know why, but it's just he has a nose for the ball, so it was good for them. And I think as the coach for Wyandotte gets more adjusted to it, he's going to find out who his playmakers are, and he's going to make sure that they're on the field. I know that as a coach, I know we talked about if you got 60 guys or you got 30 guys, it makes a difference how many bodies are on the sideline. But as a coach, I kind of want my best guys out there, kind of like your guy from South Lyon, right? So, yeah, I want some numbers so that we can practice and people aren't put in a situation where they got to play hurt. But if they're injured, they can play, right? But they don't have to play hurt. But they can, they can be at their top at the end. So I want numbers. But if I got a guy that's dominant on both sides, he's playing both sides.
Right.
Sooner or later, we're working him into the defense for a blitz package or something where we want him to be aggressive.
Even our quarterback from a couple of years ago was playing like they're in the safeties,
Right.
And picking off the other team's quarterback. Yeah. You got your best athletes out there.
You got to put them out
and,
there.
the youngness, like I said, the youngness makes a difference. Even in my sport, even when I coach the girls in bowling. It's tough for a ninth grader to dominate in that game unless they grew up in it. Angelita's the exception. Julia bowled at ninth grade, but they grew up with bowling balls in their hand. It's tough to take that. Even at this couple of girls now that I have bowling at colleges, I said, you know how hard it was for you to bowl as a ninth grader on the varsity team in high school. Now you're going to college where some of these girls have been doing it 3 years and have had this college training, which I will be the first to admit would be better than what I can offer.
Right.
That they don't be discouraged if you're on their JV for a year, or two. It's not the end of the world.
Right, grow.
Just use that brain as a sponge.
Right. And I even think about, you were telling me about a bowling match where you guys and the fans were in the place so much that it kind of wrapped around the outside of the lanes, and then wow, they're here to see me. And they're not necessarily, like you said, here to see you because there's 30-some odd lanes.
Kind of looking at you.
You're out
they're
here.
watching their kid.
Yeah.
But they're kind of looking at you. The only one looking at you is your parents.
Right.
That's what I say all the time. And your coach. Your coach is looking.
So now if you move that into football, Friday Night Lights, it gets bright out there, right? So if you've been in ninth grade football, I don't care if you played at Wilson, ninth grade, whatever it was, it's not as big as that stage on a Friday.
Right.
So in the beginning of that, you got to get used to that. But at some point, it's all you want to do. You want to play on Friday night. So.
All right. So good luck, Bears. Woodhaven volleyball. We got some volleyball results.
Yay.
Believe it or not. Yay.
Careful what you ask for.
I know. The visiting Bears, they went over to Woodhaven. And they went down 3-0, and the Bears are 0-2 in Downriver League, and Woodhaven's 2-0.
Okay.
But Woodhaven is they're a perennial power, and but the Bears, they showed a lot of resilience. They were in every match. It just seemed like Woodhaven pulled away. It was 25-14, 25-19, 25-20. And the Woodhaven coach's name, Haley Dorn, rookie coach.
Okay.
Taking over a strong program, though. That part is the facts. Like the Bears led early in the second set. They were leading 10-9. Woodhaven come back, wins 11 of the next 13. That game gets out of hand. The third set, Roosevelt at one point led 15-12. But it's like the second set, Warriors. Volleyball, you've seen it. You've played. You've watched it. You've been involved. So it makes it tough.
Yeah, it gets quick. Dorn said she was encouraged on how her team battled the late set adversity and said that it's something they have been working on in the early stages of the season. So she's already putting adversity drills or whatever, seeing how they battle it and handle it.
Hey, it's, 22-20, games to 25. We need this point.
Right
You
now.
gotta sell out. Yeah, she said inheriting a roster that's got 9 seniors, tough job there.
Yeah, they set it up right.
That just makes their job a lot easier. Don't you agree?
Oh man, the maturity that she has with those 9 seniors, they need a coach, but they almost don't when it's 9 of them, right? They pretty much can do the rotations themselves. They've probably been playing together since midget league, and
right.
Yeah, no, they're a powerhouse. I see it.
That's right. Kayla was pretty involved in volleyball.
Yeah, she played through senior year. I thought it was fun, man. You see a lot of athleticism in those girls. And they can get around and get up and down faster than you think.
My daughter, and there's nothing. I got a couple of videos. There's nothing better than her getting the right set and just pulverizing it, And she would just, like, they had Allen Park down one time, 2-0, and they quit giving her the ball. And she was livid. She was looking at that little setter saying, give me the damn ball, because she said it to someone else, and Julia was on a roll, and she didn't get the ball. They lost 3-2. She did not get the ball much the rest of that game, and I didn't understand it because I'm the dad that wants my kid to just dominate. But the Bears are a very young team. They've only got 2 seniors, so that's good, for the future. Definitely. And they're probably competing, and like Coach Al says, they've been put into roles they probably weren't too familiar with. If he's only got 2, he probably lost a good handful, 6 or 7 or 5 or 6. Because last year, I believe we were pretty solid.
Yeah.
It's got to be it all the time. If you've got more developed seniors, should be better.
Yeah.
Theoretically, doesn't mean you always are.
Correct. But that's what they're setting it up for. Those kids, you want to bet that 4 years ago when they were freshmen, they were having a tough time at it. Or even sophomores if they were going to be the leaders, right? They had their growing pains.
Without a doubt. And for Roosevelt, some name dropping. Megan Powell and Avery Patrick had 18 kills on the night. And Hannah Havlicek, she had 25 assists on Bears points. Bianna Hawthorne and Gusick had 5 blocks, while Rushlow and Amelia Grantz and Briar Cook combined for 27 digs, which digs are cool when they smack the heck out of the ball on the other end. And there's a tournament this Saturday. Woodhaven's be at Ypsi Lincoln, and Roosevelt will head to Schoolcraft College. The 2 will then resume Downriver League play Tuesday, the 20th, tomorrow, as Woodhaven goes to Edsel Ford and Roosevelt will go to Taylor.
I think that those Saturdays that we spent at University of Michigan Dearborn or any other place that it would be a volleyball clinic going on all day,
tournament
all day, those are what makes you a lot better. I saw that because when we get to league play, it's nothing because you're battling the best of the best at those.
Oh, at the tournaments? Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's why they start them out in the fall, and they play tournaments every weekend. We were packing lunches. Those were some long, long days. Don't forget to get a hold of us, Local Sports Wrap-Up. A few side notes. We got a swimming thing. Gibraltar Carlson took care of Trenton. Kicked off the Downriver League dual meet season. Couple of name drops. First of all, Carlson came away 108-77 over the Trojans.
7 first-place finishes.
Very nice.
Okay.
Very nice. For the Marauders, Madison Taylor won the 200 free, and she took first place in the backstroke. And Bree Shaw was first in the 50 free. Tilly Opel was tops in the 100 freestyle, and Olivia Oswinek earned a top spot in the breaststroke. Not bad. A little name dropping for them. Carlson's scheduled to return to action this Thursday against Edsel Ford. And the Trojans and Trenton will be in Dundee the same night for a non-league tri-meet that will have Detroit Country Day.
Oh, they better get ready.
And the volleyball kicks off. They got some meets tomorrow. And where does we play next on the 20th against Taylor? We mentioned that already.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to run down some soccer stores
Sure
real quick.
thing.
All right. Woodhaven 5, Gibraltar Carlson 2, Edsel Ford 3, Lincoln Park 0, Trenton 3-0, over Southgate. Wyandotte lost 9-1 to Allen Park. And then, Riverview beat Carlson 8-0. And then Woodhaven beat Allen Park 4-0. So seems like it's a lot of back and forth. I beat you, you beat me.
Yeah, I'm not going to criticize anyone, but soccer, there's a lot. You could play keep away. If you have the talent, you could play keep away with the ball a little bit. But I don't know. I don't coach it. I don't know anything about it. How about them Lions? We have a Learn to Skate. Learn to Skate is back at the Yak. The Yak, where back in the day they had rock concerts.
Oh, yeah?
Oh,
Kiss?
back in the, that's what they say. I've
Who?
never.
The
No,
Who?
not the Who.
Oh, okay.
I think Kiss played there back in the early 70s. That's the rumor anyway. And everybody that's downriver was at that concert.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Even though only 1,200 people could get in there?
That's exactly right. The whole place was packed. I didn't even know about it.
Standing room only.
That's right. Had them banging off the walls.
So the Learn to Skate program actually started last week, but they're encouraging people to come out Saturday, right?
Oh, cool.
Yep. Starts Saturday, September 17th, which was this weekend, and then they're going to do it again next week, and it's going to be ongoing. And then you can sign your kid up for the next session, too.
It's a great thing if you want to get your kid. I mean, I was fortunate to be on afternoons, so me and Nick would go out there during the week. And the adults only was like 11 to 12, but then you could skate from like 12 to 1 or 2.
If you kept
And
the kid with you.
he wasn't 4, you know. I had him out there.
That's good.
And he'd be crying, you know. I said, "You just skate to daddy, okay? You just come on." And then he was the fastest kid on the ice by the time, you know.
What about swimming? When did you learn to swim?
Me, Lincoln Park High School. We moved to Lincoln Park, so I was probably a 3rd grader.
Okay.
Yeah, and I learned how to, you know, kick my feet and do all that stuff, and hold your breath underwater and all that stuff. I was swimming last night. My pool water is rather chilly, but you know what? It makes the old bones feel pretty good. And you'll get in it after I golfed all week and I got in the pool. It felt pretty good. Couple seconds. Lions 1-1. Town's going crazy. Super Bowl bound. Not really.
Hutchinson had 3 sacks.
Yeah, they were in the first half. Not much after that.
No, he actually got hurt.
It was almost the same old Lions. Everybody was starting to freak out. It got to be 22-15. If they'd have went 3 and out in the next series, it would have been the same old Lions. But instead, they took it down the field and scored.
Yeah.
You know, good end around.
St. Brown looked good.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
Suicide pool pick this week. Who's the hot team? Don't know yet.
No. You got to see it. Yeah.
We're both out, so it doesn't matter. And I better check them 29 pool standings. I'm Marty Chinesky. Don't forget to watch us on YouTube. Get us on Local Sports Wrap Up at gmail.com. And for Ken and me, we will see you next week. Thank you so much for watching. And go Bears. Let's compete this week in all the sports.